Chapter 4. That's amazing, Luke-sama. You've built a shed in the blink of an eye. While we were in front of the shed that appeared out of nowhere, Milia praised me so. Food, clothing, and shelter, these are said to be essentials to human life. And now, we don't have to worry about one of those. Yeah, well, it's not like I did anything myself. It's my gift. Oh, my and Luke-sama's very own love nest. Gufufu. Milia, because I built the shed, I only had 30 village points left. Should I build another shed? Or will a field or water well be better? Since each of those items cost 20 points, I can only build one for today. Wait, you can build things other than a shed? Yup. When she understood my little problem, Milia quickly shouted. Then, why not build a well? But isn't this place too small for 2 people to sleep in? Yeah, I guess I should build another shed. Don't. Yes, this place is small, but it's enough. Rather than improve our dwelling situation, we should prioritize securing a water source. It's said that as humans won't die easily from starvation, but even a few days without water can result in death. Oh, okay. Then, I guess I'll build a water well. Pressured by Milia's eagerness, I chose to build a well. I still thought we had enough water for about a few days, though. That was close, but with this, my knights Luke-sama are secured, Gufufu. While giving a sidelong glance at Milia, who seemed for some reason relieved about something, I interacted with my gift. 20 village points will be consumed to build a water well. Just like before, it happened in an instant. The next thing I knew, there was a circular well made of joined-together stones right where I wanted it to be. Wait, this cover won't come off, though. We tried removing the cover of the well, but to no avail. It was possible that the cover was actually part of the well itself. As such, I decided to put that aside and investigate another unfamiliar part of the well. What could this be? Whoa. When I pushed the thing that looked a handle, water suddenly poured out through a pipe. In my surprise, I hurriedly returned the handle to its initial position. When I did, though, the water stopped. Is this how it's used? It's quite convenient, isn't it? Just drawing water out of a well is such a laborious task. In fact, back in the castle, it's mostly left to manual labor slaves. In the first place, being able to secure a water source was a success already. Especially in this wasteland. If we didn't have this well, we would have had to wait for rain and gather as much as we could. And that was assuming that there would be rain. Much like what Milia said, we were in real danger of dying due to thirst. At any rate, I now only had 10 points left. There wasn't anything I could build with just 10 points even if I wanted to, so I was forced to wait at least a day. It looks like I gained 10 points per day, so maybe I should build that other shed tomorrow. What do you think, Milia? No. Let's build a field next. Yes, we absolutely must build a field. It takes time to grow the seeds we brought and even more time to harvest them, so the sooner we start, the better. Oh, okay. Let's do that then. Pressured by Milia's threatening gaze, I had little choice but to nod. But then, words suddenly appeared in my vision. They hovered right below Milia's face. Make her a villager? Eh? I can make her a villager? Yes. If the person themselves consent to it, it's possible to make them a villager. Which reminded me, when I looked earlier, it said that my village had 0 villagers. It might be like that because I couldn't be considered as a villager. Ah, Milia. Of course, I'll accept, Luke-sama. Please, let me be a villager. Milia had correctly guessed what I was trying to say and even answered it. Are you sure, though? Luke-sama, let me repeat what I said before. No matter what happens, wherever you may go, I'll be by your side. If what you choose to do is stay here and build a village, then I'll do my best to help you make that happen. Milia's resolve was unwavering. Thank you, Milia. Milia is now a villager. Like that, Milia became my very first villager. Alongside that, I made a little promise to myself. That I would use this mysterious gift of mine to develop this wasteland and develop a prosperous enough village. Chapter 5. Luke's Village. Village Level 1. Village points available 10. 11 points can now be gained per day. Number of villagers 1. Village gift none. Everything was clear before me. So, I now officially have 1 villager. Plus, the points I earn each day rose a little. It would seem that because the number of villagers rose, the number of points I gained increased as well. I doubt I'd have more villagers, though. Fufufu, I don't think it being just the two of us is so bad. Nothing. But now, I didn't have enough points left to build anything. I would have to wait a day at least. Afterwards, Milia prepared some food. By the time we finished eating, it had become dark. Unlike back in our capital, there was hardly any source of light here. It was mostly just the light of the moon and the stars. Because we could do nothing in the dark, we decided to stay within the shed that my gift built. We made a little hole in the wall so that a little light would shine in, but it was still pitch dark inside. As such, we had to fumble in the dark until we managed to cover ourselves with a blanket and lie down side by side. Still, to think my gift can do all these. I initially thought, why of all gifts was this the one I got? But now that I was beginning to have a clue of what it could do, it might not be so bad. As I mentioned, I had a dislike for fighting. Instead of a world where everyone fought and killed each other for land and resources, I would much rather live in a world where everyone was peacefully coexisted with each other. I had thought so ever since I was a little kid. And this place where I could build a small village would be my chance at such a life. It might not be grand, but at least it would be peaceful. I was so focused on thinking such things that I failed to notice something. The person next to me was making some strange sounds. Puff, puff, huff, puff. Gufufu, to be able to sniff Luke-sama's scent so closely and for the whole night. Is this what heaven is like? I wasn't sure what it was, but something told me that it was better to ignore it. The next morning, I was awoken by the sunlight that poured in through the hole we made. As for Milia, her eyes were closed as she held me tightly. Yeah, I should build another shed. Don't. Isn't this one enough? You're awake. Yes. It's expected of a maid to wake up earlier than her master. Then, why didn't you get up already? So that I could enjoy your adorable sleeping face and embrace your soft body for as long as I could, of course. There were times that I felt like Milia was hiding something. But then again, everyone had secrets. Be that as it may, you're no longer a maid. There's no need for you to force yourself to wake up early. Yes, but now I'm a villager, and you're the village's leader. It's only proper that I do certain things to show my respect. Is that how it is? I had never lived in a village, so I didn't really know. Oh, I have 21 points now. Congratulations, Luke-sama. You can build a field now, can't you? A day has passed, so I earned some village points. And as Milia insisted multiple times, I decided to build a field. 20 village points will be consumed to build a field. Proceed. Yes, Noah. A similar message from before appeared in my vision. When I chose yes, an area in front of the shed instantly became a tilled field. This, Luke-sama, this earth, it's extremely amazing. We'll surely be able to grow great crops with this field. While excitedly exclaiming so, Milia began planting the seeds we brought along. She was formerly a maid, but she was planting with incredible speed and grace. Does she have experience in farming? Oh, I'll help too. Luke-sama, such work isn't. Please don't treat me like I'm still the heir of a lord. This is my village, so it's my responsibility. I want to do as much as I can to make it grow. Very well. I appreciate the help then. The field was about 50 meters both in length and width. Milia was expertly teaching me how to plant the seeds, but even so, it should take the two of us quite a bit of time to finish. And this was just the planting. If we were to start all the way from preparing the field, it would have definitely taken us a considerably longer time. Up until recently, eating meals were a matter of course for me, but now, I was beginning to understand just how much hard work the farmers behind the scenes were undertaking. Chapter 6. Forgive me, Father, but I'm leaving the family. What do you think you're doing, Seelan? After hearing my declaration, my father's eyes were wide open in anger. This is unacceptable, Father. I can't go through with it. In these times, a lord marrying off their children for political and financial gain was commonplace. I was no exception. From the age of 10, I had already been promised to Lord Albert's heir. Because I understood that this was the best option for the safety of our lands, I agreed to follow such a decision. To be exact, I agreed to be married to Luke, Lord Albert's oldest son and heir apparent. I had met him once or twice already, and he seemed to be a gentle and sweet young man, quite unlike his father. It was beside the point, but he was also 3 years younger than me. However, what he received for his gift during his blessing ceremony was one clearly not geared toward fighting. Meanwhile, the one to inherit his father's master swordsmanship was his stepbrother, Raoul, instead. As a result of this twist of fate, I became promised to Raoul. If it was to Luke, I was willing to go through with it, but if it's to that twisted man, I absolutely refuse. But he's the one to inherit the Albert territory, Sealand, if you cared for our lands. No, father, absolutely will not do this. I'd rather die. After shouting so, I stormed out of our castle. I would have continued until I was out of our territory, but soldiers deployed on the highway blocked my path. Lady Sealand, please turn back. Well, if you think you can stop me, go ahead and try. I said so and then drew out the 2 swords hanging from my waist. With a crackling sound, ice then formed on the blades of my swords. My seriousness perhaps understood, the soldiers instinctively stepped back. They must have known about my strength, and thus concluded that their force wouldn't have been enough to stop me. Please, Lady Sealand. You're so persistent. If you continue to stand in my way, you'll be in a world of pain. Upon hearing my threat, they reluctantly made way for me. And so, I walked through the space they made until the place I was born in was far away behind me. A few days passed after coming to this wasteland. Luke-sama, please take a look. There are sprouts in the field. Huh? There really are. When I hurriedly came out after Milia called for me, I saw for myself the sprouts she was talking about. To be honest, I was unsure whether crops would grow at all from this field, but seeing this, my worries went away. Moreover, according to Milia, they were actually growing sooner than usual. We did it. There's obviously more work to be done, but at least we've secured a source of food. Yeah, thank goodness. In other events, I spent the points I accumulated on a watchtower and an earthen wall. Each cost 20 points. I wanted to build another shed, but Milia insisted that we should prioritize facilities for defense in case the worst were to happen. At present, we still haven't been attacked, but when I saw figures in the distance a few days ago, I was glad that this was the choice we made. The earthen wall was about 2 meters tall. It wouldn't be of much use against large monsters, but against small ones, it should be enough to stop them. Luke-sama, it's an emergency. Milia was at the top of the watchtower when she shouted. Because it was rather sudden, my first instinct was to look in her direction. Wah, I can see under her skirt. No, now is not the time for such things. A group of goblins are headed this way. What? Goblins were ugly humanoid monsters. They were usually short, the tallest among them being at about 150 centimeters. Alone, they were said to be easy to deal with, but in a group, they could spell trouble. I hope the wall will be enough to make them give up and turn back. They're stepping on top of their allies to climb over the wall. So much for that. Now, it's only a matter of time before they get past that wall and invade the village. We have to fight. Luke-sama. I resolved myself and drew out my sword.